their topic for the second inning will be dreams. Warm up, you two. Take a couple practice swings. Becky will lead off.
I happen to have a poem called The Dream of the Rude.
Get out of here. Hey, that's cheating.
But before I start, I want to remind one of the judges that I have ownage on him. Ownage. Okay, so this is called The Dream of the Rude. Does anybody know what the Rude is? So the Rude is the true cross. And I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania and went to college on a scholarship. And the very first piece of English literature I encountered was a medieval poem by an anonymous author called The Dream of the Rude. So the epigraph to this poem is a quote from that piece. I saw a tree more wonderful than any other, reach high aloft, bathed in light. And I want to thank you for that pitch. Dream of the Rude. You should follow your dream, whispered the rude young yoga instructor. Earnest and bent on proving that pain could, at its heart, be good, and that I ached for more than this hardwood floor against my spine's misalignment. I'd signed up to follow it, my dream, but now I rued the day I moved to this crazy state. It gets more serious. Loaded with cord stack, the family tree felled by blood, smoke, and gin. Mom and Dad died years before they each died. Light was divided from light in every small window, so I went west. Burnt was the dream shape of home, root, shaft, and crossbeam. In my first year of dead and no weather, I wanted winter. I pined for trees with no leaves and for any word spoken in tongues. Stand, she said, on your head, and it began to rain. Outside, upside down, a tree bled. I dreamt blurred red bud, the rude, pain-pierced light, a dead tree in luminous bloom. Thank you.
Friday Night Lust and Spleen, I thought was an amazing line of Robert's. There's raccoons in this, and I have a thing for raccoons. The young ones, the old ones are, bastards. Beautiful poem. I love the randomness of the poem and how everything fit together so well. Becky's poem, Young Yoga Instructors, we all drifted off a little, thinking about that, right? The line, blood, smoke, and gin, absolutely gorgeous. Blurred red bud, amazing. And I think Becky choked up a little bit while she was reading her own poem, which is, maybe I imagined it, but I kind of felt that. So I'm gonna go for Becky.
But before I begin the laborious job of tying my poem into the topic, I have a question for one of the judges. How am I supposed to know it's a 49ers hat? I mean, it's a San Francisco Giants. SF. Oh, it does? Oh, it's very small. Look how small it is. Oh, it's red. Okay. Okay, well. Anyway, something. You can take it up in the judging round. Okay, so I'm going to be really sneaky and read a poem that has nothing to do with the topic. And I really have to read this poem. This poem is dedicated to my son, who spent 8 years doing it, and he's going to be graduating from college on Tuesday. And so I'm dedicating this poem to my son, and it's after Stanley Kunitz, and it's called Only. Oh, love, this happened, or it did not. In a room with green walls, my son was born. The cord was torn too soon, so they cut off his head to save his heart. He lived for a long time. For a long time, there was no breath or cry. When finally he spoke the wide world, leaves of corn. He spoke the crickets in clusters beneath the sheaves. He sang the soil in. He sang the wind in the dune and the hush of ebb tide. Some say he died. Some say he died.
So Judy's dance moves reminded me a little bit of Molly Ringwald in The Breakfast Club, which, warmed my heart in so many ways. Great poem. Put my feet in the creek, all those amazingly visceral images, and the mention of the library I thought was a nice little thing too. Sneaky. And the Becky's poem was just heartbreaking and gorgeous, and said so much in so few lines. It's very, very powerful. And I just found it was so meta for her to say, to use the subject as, I'm going to be sneaky, and then use that to sneak in a poem about something else. So that I thought was such a strong tactic that I'm going to give the win to Becky.